Komets Corner is presented by Lee's Famous Recipe.
Hey, thank you for checking out Wayne.com for this week's edition of Komets Corner, brought to you by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Joining us here in studio, he doesn't need an introduction for Komets fans. We're talking about Anthony Petruzzelli, longtime forward, all-time good guy for the Komets, and one of the Iron Men in the history of Komets hockey. Thanks for joining us, Anthony. You guys, you joined us at the right time. You guys are on fire. You've won 5 in a row, including 2 this past weekend. What's really been the key over the last couple of weeks to flipping the script and playing some of your best hockey as a team this year?
I mean, I think it's just getting back to our basics and, kind of understanding our team systems. It go throughout the season and kind of things just wear on, and, details can lack a little bit here and there, but we kind of went back to not necessarily the drawing board, but went back to our foundation and just, started talking about what we were and who we were and just remembered all those little key details, and I think that's been a huge difference for us. This
is your 7th season with the Komets. What made you want to come back? What makes Fort Wayne a home for you? I know you and your wife have bought a house here. This is kind of a destination for you guys. So why is it? What has been the key to making this such a good partnership, I guess, for the Komets and for you?
Well, I mean, this is where I started my career, and, it's been really good to me. The Franke family, the whole Komets organization, they've taken care of me and my wife, and, just the fans themselves, too. Like, they've been so good to me, and I've enjoyed playing here, and just the way I've kind of always played, having that blue-collar style, it seems to kind of mesh nicely with the city of Fort Wayne, and they've kind of taken me in. So just being a part of this community, I enjoy it so much, and I continue to be here for a long time.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the highlights from Friday night. The Toledo Walleye coming in here. I don't have to tell you about the rivalry between Toledo and Fort Wayne, but when you take a look at Friday night, going into this game against the Toledo Walleye, what was the mentality knowing that Toledo right now is atop the standings and you guys are, right there, second, third, depending on, what day you look at the standings, looking to overtake this Toledo team by the end of the season, I would hope.
Yeah, I mean, our message is that, hey, they're the top team right now, that we want to be them. We want to be that top team, and the only way you're doing that is by taking them down. So it's kind of been a thing here, like the last few years, at least since I've been here, that, if you want to go far in the playoffs, it kind of runs through Toledo and us. So we have to have that mentality that we're going to go in there, we're going to overtake it, and that's going to be our top spot.
Alex Swetlikoff with 2 goals in this game. When he's here, he's been fantastic. He split time between the AHL and the ECHL this season, over a point a game when he's in a Komets uniform. As an offensive player, what does he bring that makes him a special guy that he can contribute as much as he does when he hits the ground running here in Fort Wayne?
I mean, yeah, he is a special player to watch out there. He is quite. He can see the ice really well all over, and he makes plays around the net, and so it's fun to see him going. He's one of our top centermen. He wins draws back, and he doesn't always do it the flashiest way either. He's going to the net, he's working hard, and it's that kind of mentality that's going to help continue to keep pushing him up to the American Hockey League, and it's fun to watch. So when you get guys down from the American League like that, it's really special, and it means a lot to us players.
And speaking of Flash, Jack the Flash Gorniak with the go-ahead goal midway through the third period against the Walleye, eventually the game winner. What does he bring, and what's it like to play with a guy like that who can really, we see a lot of breakaway goals in his opportunity because he has that kind of speed. What is it like to play with a player like Jack?
Like you said, he's a fast player, so playing with him, you're kind of looking at his back quite a bit because he's so far ahead of you up the ice. But no, he is a really smart player out there. He reads the ice well, and with that kind of speed, he's able to just break away. He recognizes a fumbling puck, and he can create that separation and get those kind of offensive chances. But also too, he does play very well defensively. So he means a lot to us. He's out there on our penalty kill and in those defensive type situations. So he is a big part of it all around.
I think going into Friday's game, you guys were 1-2 on the season against Toledo. What was the locker room like after Friday night's game? I imagine you guys pretty jacked about taking care of the Walleye, doing it in front of a good home crowd.
Yeah, it was an awesome environment there in that locker room. We've talked about these are the important games, and just to the whole entire Fort Wayne community too. Like beating the Walleye, it's nothing little. Like these are the games that we have to get up for, and the fact that we were able to come in there and get that big win, we were excited about it.
When you turn around and have to play a game the next night, what's Jesse's message? Like, how do you get refocused for a game? Obviously, a game against the Walleye is huge, but how do you get refocused for a game that you know you want to win on Saturday night, especially going into an All-Star break. You want to keep the momentum that you guys had won 4 in a row with. So what's the mentality, what's the message that Jesse gives you guys heading into Saturday?
Well, it's kind of remember what we did the night before a little bit. Don't get too caught up on it. Like, obviously, it's a different type team, but just remember the things that made us successful the night before. And if we can continue to do that against a top team like Toledo, if we bring that same kind of energy against a team, like the Maine Mariners game, and if we could do it like that, we're going to have success more often than not.
For you, is it cool to play a team like the Maine Mariners, somebody you don't see every day? Like, how neat is it to get to play against a different franchise, somebody that's not Kalamazoo or Toledo or the Indy Fuel, somebody a little bit different, just to showcase your game. And it's always nice to play somebody and get a different look. How much are you looking forward to a game like Maine?
Yeah, it is nice, when you play so many games against the same teams. It gets a little bit chippy out there, and a little bit more often than not, it turns into scrums here and there. You're getting punched in the head a few times, and it gets to be a physical game. And
that's what it's like here in the studio. So
yeah, that's what I figured.
Weather guys are very divas.
Yeah, I would imagine. You don't mess with the sports guys too much. But
true.
No, it is nice. You get to go and see a different type of team, and it's a different game plan. There's seven teams in our division, so you have a game plan for all of those. But there is a different challenge when you get teams from other divisions coming in, and it's fun.
As far as this game goes, I alluded to it earlier. How big of a game is this going into the All-Star break that you want to keep that momentum going? Like, how important is that for a hockey team? Because it's such a long season. Their breaks are few and far in between. I mean, I know you guys had a holiday break, but then you played 7 games in 10 days coming back. So how important is it to get things, to wrap things up before the All-Star break on a positive note heading into a break like this?
Yeah, you want to keep as much momentum as you can. So going into these breaks, it's huge to win your games. I mean, it's really easy for a lot of guys just to be worried about, what am I doing during the break, and be focused on that and get away from the game. And but for us, I mean, we've done a great job just focusing on the task at hand, and then worrying about that stuff later. So the fact that we're able to win these and kind of go into this break rolling a bit, it's good. So when we come out of it, we're excited, we're ready, we're energized, we're ready to go for the next challenge.
All right, now one of the guys that was a hero on Saturday night was Ethan Keppen, and we're going to hear from Ethan after the game. Komets had won 5 in a row. Here's what Ethan had to say about the recent play from the Fort Wayne Komets.
Since I came back for that Oklahoma trip, it just seemed like our locker room just remained calm, and we just went over to Tulsa with smiles on our faces and just had a fun road trip and stuff together out there, and everybody was on the same page. When we're at our best, we're playing physical, and it makes our night easier because no one wants to break out pucks against a physical team. So I think we were all on the same page yesterday against. I took a look at the stat sheet, and it looks like all of our forwards are putting the puck in the net, which is good. And we take pride in practice. Go in the net and put pucks in the net. So Jesse's been on us with that, and getting from the net, stopping the big thing, it's like miserable. So I'm happy that everyone's contributing offensively.
All right, so Komets won 5 in a row after Saturday night. What do you guys need to do out in Tahoe? Because that's the next trip. You guys play 3 out in Tahoe. I know for you this is fun because you get to have some family out there. You're from Washington State. So talk about what it's going to be like to have some family there, because they probably don't get as many chances as they'd like to see you.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun getting to have my mother, father, my sister, and brother-in-law there. They don't always get the chance to come out and see me play, and the fact that they get to all come together, it'll be really special for me, and I'll be playing just a little bit that much harder just for them and their time being there. So I'm excited for it.
What outside of the Komets name, what is your favorite name for an ECHL team that is not the Komets? You got a lot. The more that we get, the more new teams we get, the wackier the names seem to get to me. So what's your favorite non-Komets name?
Yeah, the Ghost Pirates was pretty good, but I think I'm still fond of the Solar Bears. I think that's just a really fun, creative name for them.
I do like the Everblades. I mean, I think that's pretty cool tying in. Whew. But I don't know. The Gargoyle, we were talking about this before the show. The Gargoyles is going to be a pretty cool name.
Yeah, the Greensboro Gargoyles. It's going to be really hard to say that in some kind of exciting tone, and I'm interested to see how they do it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough on the broadcasting side. I'm glad Fort Wayne Komets is easy to say. So, although autocorrect does want us to put a C in that.
Yeah, you got to change the settings on there. You can.
I did not know that you could do that. I need you to be able to do that because, or I've got a 14-year-old. She can probably do that.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to worry about fixing the VCR for our parents anymore. So
good point. Although it does still flash 12, so that's the beautiful thing about it. Let's take a look at the ECHL standings now. We're at the All-Star break, halfway through. Right now, Toledo Walleye in first place. You got Iowa, who's having a very good season in second. The Komets not too far behind right there. In third. When you take a look at these standings, man, what do you guys need to do in the second half of the season? Obviously, you want to have home ice in that first round, so you need that first or second place in the conference. Or in the division, I should say. What do you guys need to do to make a playoff push in the second half of the season, and what's really going to be the focus as you head out to Tahoe and get ready for the second half of the season as you put the first half on the back burner?
I think it's like we talked about. It's just keeping that momentum going here, riding that 5-game win streak. If we continue to build off that and kind of just keep steamrolling and winning games, it's going to be huge for us. So we got to not try and be as streaky as much as well. So I know we've had, this 5-game win streak and before that a 4-game losing streak. So if we can get away from that, I think that'll help us in the long term. These top teams, these good teams, they never lose more than 2 in a row. So we got to be able to bounce back after tough games.
Speaking of toughness, how many games have you played in a row? Like, what was your stretch? It was like 250?
Yeah, it was probably like 230, 240. Yeah, if I didn't have the call up to Chicago, it would have been 300 and some odd. I don't know.
That's what complicates the numbers.
Yeah.
But having played that many games in a row, like, hockey is such a physically demanding sport in a gruelingly long season. What do you think that says about you, and how do you approach the game to be able to do that? Like, nobody does that. Almost nobody does that. To be able to go out there every night, like, what do you think that says about you, and when was that, quality instilled in you as a hockey player?
I think I kind of learned it at a young age from my parents. It's always, especially when it comes to sports and, schooling and everything like that, it's bring that workman-like mentality, that's if you want to do something, you do it to your best ability, and you never take a day off. And I've kind of stuck with that my whole entire life. And the fact that I've been lucky enough to stay away from the major injuries, knock on wood, and stay fairly healthy. I've been very fortunate. I mean, there's been a few nights maybe I probably should have taken the night off. Little bruised up, banged up here and there, but just being able to battle through it. I think for me personally, it means a lot, and just I want to show my teammates that, hey, no matter what, like, you can battle through anything. I know there's obviously circumstances which, you can't play, but, if you got a little bit of a sickness, this ankle's a little tired, or, this back's a little sore, it doesn't mean you can't go out there and give a full effort. And so I continue to try and bring that every day and practice and game. And so, just something like that, I feel like it also kind of represents the Fort Wayne community. It's a real blue-collar community that, it just continues to work and build itself.
All right, let's take a look at the schedule this coming week. You got 3 games all out in Tahoe Friday, 10:30 our time. That's a late game for you guys. Then Saturday, 10 o'clock our time, Sunday, 6 o'clock. Going into the second half of the season, what are you most looking forward to as we kind of wrap things up here?
I think it's just kind of, setting ourselves up and trying to make that push for the playoffs. So obviously that's the ultimate goal. Everyone, we play this regular season to fight for that spot in the playoffs. And, we're halfway through the season now, and this is where, things really start to matter. And this is where we got to separate ourselves in the standing and kind of secure that spot as soon as we can. But, look forward to just, again, taking it one game at a time, though. All
right, we appreciate you stopping by the studio. He is Anthony Petrozelli. I'm Glenn Marini, and that is your latest edition of Komets Corner.
Komets Corner is presented by Lee's Famous Recipe.